Hello, everybody. Awesomeness. I think I've got the hangout working. This is kind of new to me. I think this is the first time I've actually done a hangout. So where are we? Are we in the chat room? Guys, do you see me? Let's make sure I'm on air first. Oh, hey, there's Autumn. I think we did it. I think we did it, Autumn.
I joined.
You have more skills than me. I get to 10 minutes before the broadcast and I'm going, I've forgotten how to do this. I don't know if I actually know which button to press here, so.
Right.
But we did it. Hello, everybody. Awesome. Whoops, newbie mistake. I've got the hangout working.
Hold on.
Okay. Oh, was that me? No, that was you. Okay.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, okay. I thought that was me. I was like, let me.
We're good.
Okay, hold on. I'm just digging down for my cable. Oh, okay. We're good. All right. So professional.
I know, right? These videos. I do videos like that too. They're like.
So, how are you? How are things going for you? You posted a great video today in the group. With your books. I couldn't believe that book that you found.
I know. I couldn't believe it either. I mean, I didn't even remember that I had it for sale, you know, because when you go yard selling for FBA, you get so many things and so many different things that you're constantly sending things in. So I had actually completely forgotten about it. So when it sold, I was like, whoa, thought it was a mistake. And because I'm new to FBA, so I was like, this can't be real, you know.
But it's a great feeling.
Yeah, it was a great feeling. I mean, I definitely am looking for those paperback textbooks, and that's why I made the video, because I know a lot of people that were selling clothes on eBay are trying to move into FBA and maybe don't know what to start with, and I think those are a great start, you know, like just get as many as you can and see which ones sell, because I've sold several, not just that one, several.
Wow, that are on that par with that book?
Well, so most of them sell for like $35.99, but that's a pretty good turnout for a $1 book, you know. And also,
seriously,
yeah, and some of the paperback textbooks have CDs in them, you know, or like our medical ones or psychology ones, and I can get upwards of $54.99 or something like that. So it's not like that book in particular, but it is a great payout. That's the kind of margin I'm used to with eBay, is like these ridiculous margins that you can make a ton of money on, right? Remember that?
Right, and I think that's it. Like, it's hard when you go to retail arbitrage because the margins, like, then you're playing a volume game. You're just trying to do as much as you can. But when you get that, I think books are still that area of Amazon where there's still those huge margins that you can make.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, there are some other things, you know, like I've found like quarter cross stitch and made $15.95 or, you know, and that's a pretty good margin if you think about it for a quarter, for, you know, but still I'm talking on eBay where I've sold coats for, I sold a coat for $700 once, you know. Wow. So it's like that I paid like $15 for it at the Goodwill, you know, so that's a margin for me. But I'm looking at eBay.
And also, I think with eBay, you get that instant satisfaction that, I like, if you need to make money fast, you can do it with eBay right away. And did I lose sound then, or am I still here? I think I'm still here.
You're still there. That's the thing with FBA, is it's really slow to start. Like, it's not instant like eBay was. Although I had to wait 90 days for my PayPal money to be there. Remember, like in the very beginning, PayPal used to make you wait. Like, I still think they do, 90 days. Or something like that, so you get paid from your customers. So there is a waiting period on eBay if you're just starting out. But the wait on Amazon is different because you got to wait for your boxes to get there each time. Yes. So like that wait is like scary. I mean, they already lost a box and some other items, and you know, it was actually kind of you know, some items have gone missing, and they pay you right away for them. But still, you know, they're not for sale, and you don't know where they are. So there's a waiting time with Amazon. I mean, maybe that's my particular experience. But I've seen in Facebook groups people talk about losing boxes. I mean, what about you? Do you have
I've never had lost a box. I've lost the odd thing. I've lost the odd item. And actually, I mean, I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, Amazon could lose everything they like because
I know.
they generally compensate pretty well.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's tricky if it's something that there's not much precedent for the price on it. But actually,
Right.
I found their prices are usually fair. But I know it's not the same for everyone. It kind of depends what they're selling or what it is they've sent in.
My things are kind of odds and ends and random things, so it's like it feels like it would be better to have them for sale than, sometimes one of the box took 3 weeks to find, so it was like my items could have been for sale the whole time, you know what I mean? And then on the last day they miraculously found it, which is great. I'm glad they found the box, and now my items are for sale, but for 3 weeks they weren't, so it's like
that did happen to me. I had
issues getting in there, with Amazon.
Yeah, I had that happen with Phoenix, and I think Jeff Davidson did as well. We both lost boxes at Phoenix at the same time, and I have a feeling they never found his, but they found mine. And I was actually sitting there. I think there were 100 items, and I was like, "Yeah, go on, lose them, and then just give me all the money at once."
I was hoping to get the reimbursement, but they found it on the last day. I was like, "Wow, you found it? Where are you hiding it?" You know what I mean? But they're a company just like everybody else, and I know a lot of people are pushing into FBA right now. They keep saying on the phone when I call, they're like, we're getting like 1 million boxes a day because people are just, hearing about it more and more, and also people are gearing up for Q4, which is what I'm sure you're doing. This is my first time in Q4, so I'm not really sure what to expect. I mean, what can you tell me about Q4? Because that's something I want to know about. Like, what are you preparing for?
Okay.
Mostly.
Well, this is my third one. Really, I didn't get going on the first one until we were well underway. I got going probably about November, December with the first one. So that wasn't really a proper one. That kind of took me by surprise, and and in a way, it was like a false hope for me because I was like, wow, Amazon's amazing because I started in November. But last year I was a bit more prepared for it, and I love it. I mean, it's so fun because you can send in anything Christmassy and it will just start selling. And
I'm seeing that stuff everywhere, at the yard sales already and at the thrift stores. It's everywhere. People are already starting to pull it out. So I'm wondering about what should I be buying Christmas already or?
Yeah, I would. I'm starting now. Actually, I've been buying ornaments and putting together bundles for Christmas. I'm still kind of on the tail end of Halloween. I sent in probably about 4 or 5 batches of shipments for Halloween, and I'm doing a bit of Thanksgiving now. And I'm still kind of working on that, but I've been started buying Christmas, and I'm going to start putting together the bundles and photographing them and listing those and getting those. I think it's good to start as soon as you see the stuff in the stores. Yeah. Because you just you want to get a head start on listing and photographing.
Right, because it takes time to get the stuff into Amazon FBA,
Right, and once you start seeing things going out of stock, you just want to be able to go and buy them and just replenish without having to think about all the listing and all of that hassle. So.
Right. And then are you starting on chocolates already? Are you sending in candy?
Yeah, I've been doing a bit of candy for Halloween. I haven't got on the chocolate. So today's chocolate day. Today's the first day we can send chocolate in. Yay! But I am not on that bandwagon yet. I have some ideas, and I do want to go and start buying and sending in chocolate. I think my advice would be to look for unusual chocolate places to buy chocolate. They're unusual. I think if people are going to go into Walmart this week, they're going to scan the chocolate and they're going to go, wow, there's not many sellers on this. The prices are great. And I think within a week to 2 weeks, those prices are going to go. I told
things to note, like what's going to happen in the next week or so, like to think about that. If we're all new sellers coming in, trying to think, what are we going to start buying now? Okay, so Halloween's over really for buying. Yes. What's next? Christmas, some chocolate. But like you're saying, more unusual, not necessarily Walmart or something like that, like maybe somewhere else.
Well, I can give you an example. So I talked about this on my Spreecast on Saturday, and last week, or just over a week ago, I went into Walmart and I saw a bunch of cool Halloween things. and they had pumpkin bread. And I was like, wow, this pumpkin bread is selling, I think it was $3.99 in Walmart, and it was selling for $22 on Amazon, and there were like 3 FBA sellers. I was like, okay, I can't pass this by. I'm going to send it in.
Okay.
By the time it hit Amazon, that price had gone from, I think, $22 or $23 down to like $14. And it's still dropping because everyone had the same idea. Everyone walks into Walmart and sees it. But I did do a candy bundle with some of the Halloween candy.
That's how you can avoid that.
Yeah, right. And no one touched that so far. They will touch it. I mean, I've got people jumping on my Halloween bundles.
Wow.
But if the bundles start doing well, people will find them because they'll search by rank, they'll search by brand. They'll just, I mean, because Amazon says you must use the word bundle, it's easy to just type in bundle and search for what people are selling that's successful.
Right, under the rank. I mean, if you're smart enough, you can do that. That's how I used to find out what things were selling on eBay. I would just look through, you know, and completed listings and type in a dollar amount if I wanted to know what brands were selling for really high numbers. I would just like do this random research on eBay. So I'm starting to see how to do that random research on Amazon so that I can like, even how you can put together bundles. Down at the bottom it says people who bought this have frequently bought it together with these items.
Yeah, that's a great trick.
And then you can like take some of those items and create a bundle right there if you want to.
That's a great trick. Another thing you can do is, I don't know if you've seen the way you can fill the URL at the top, and this is something I might need to post in the group, that you can order bestsellers, and then you can start skipping pages ahead, so you can see, like, I don't know, the top 500 rather than the top 10, because everyone's going to be on board the top 10. But if you skip in the URL to, like, the 500th page in groceries, you're still going to find things that sell well, but aren't as obvious. So there's ways of reverse engineering the search and finding those things.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to be resourceful. Like, I mean, the whole reason that I started to go into Amazon is because eBay was, for me personally, changing completely. I mean, I will do $4,100 in sales this month, but that's
awesome.
That's nothing. I mean, it's great. Some people will say that number is great, but what I was doing was double that without batting an eye. Without batting an eye. And oftentimes I could get into more than that if I just pushed a little harder, you know, and I had an employee and all this stuff was going smoothly, and that was going on like that for 3 years. You know, without a problem, without one problem, no single issues. I mean, the inventory was always there, you know, running very smoothly. I very much had a routine, and then it just, in the 6-week time span, you know, I was bringing on a partner. I mean, really, we were going for it. We were going to take it to a whole nother level and get like a warehouse at some point, you know, and at the bottom just dropped out in a sense because I had made all these decisions at the same time, and then like Cassini and eBay had this, or Cassini came out, and I had kind of dealt with that, but then when all the hacking and then the other thing, I can't even remember all the things that it was, but like literally, I mean, boom, everything just dropped out, and I've been making, you know, slowly, like last month I did 5,200, and so I've been slowly dropping, and it's dropped from, it just keeps dropping, and I've been scrambling to stay above 4,000. Which is like unheard of. You know, I'd never had this happen before. So in order to pay all of the things that I had been living at and my loan and everything that I had taken out to bring on this partner, all the stuff that I had done, I had to make a decision really fast. You know, what was I going to do to supplement my income because eBay was no longer working the same way for me. Now, there's a number of reasons why or why not. We don't really know. You know, there's not really an official comment from eBay necessarily. I mean, we keep getting news like today, more news about eBay and PayPal splitting. So, like, literally, I'm incorporated. I have a business. You know, I mean, I run a legitimate business, and I file taxes, you know, and I'm like, I have an accountant. And I basically kind of, like, that just completely changed. And it did take 6 weeks, but it totally changed, and I can't get anything else out of eBay. Like either, I don't know, there's many factors. So it doesn't even really matter anymore, all the factors, you know, it's like happened already. The money's not coming from eBay anymore, so I need a certain amount of money to pay my bills. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to figure out how to get in, because all I could remember was, well, Amazon, FBA, everyone talks about it. So I just decided, and maybe a lot of people are probably in this. I see it all over the Facebook groups, whether or not it's people talking about slow sales or whatever, you know, like those of us who are on eBay solely are going to have to transition over to Amazon, because the platform's changing. It's obviously changing. I mean, I see it, the writing's on the wall, shall we say, you know, and it's not that we have to jump ship or leave eBay altogether, because I'm not going to do that. I can create probably another $4,000 next month through eBay, and like I'm going to offer some wholesale products. I'm actually going to do some retail arbitrage on eBay, because why not? Like, you know, maybe sell some Christmas things on eBay. I'm not really sure. I mean, I'm thinking about like certain items and maybe doing some bundles on eBay. Like if people are bundling on Craigslist, you know, we saw that.
Why yes, that was hilarious. That was so funny. The guy had made
I was like, what is that? You know, I mean, where did you see that? Was that in your group?
I think it was Sean posted it. I think it was Cool Toads posted it. And he said he found it on Craigslist. This guy had put together this huge Halloween bundle. And it was very random. It was like glow sticks and table decorations. And I mean, I think he's on the right track.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, like, why not do, like, health and beauty on eBay, you know? Like, I've thought about that. Like, why not do retail arbitrage on eBay to keep, because I think it's best to try to transition a used account into a new account. I'm seeing eBay wanting to move into competing with Amazon completely, and I think that they're trying to, like, do anything that they can right now. I don't get the same feeling from eBay that I did, and it's not just because my business is changing. It's a general sensing of the platform that I get. You know, like I have a good sense of things, and I mean, I'm sure you can feel it too. Like it's just the way it's changing, and all the things that they're wanting buyers to do for customers. It's going to be very hard to make a profit on a used item with a 90-day return policy.
And I think that's my worry with eBay now. I find that, like, I don't know if it's me, but I find that buyers have got very, very more demanding, and I find I have more returns, and it's hard work. It takes a lot of time dealing with the customers, and I mean, I look at eBay, and my return rate on eBay is very high. I have to watch everything and go, okay, is this going to get returned? Is there going to be a problem with this?
Is this going to get returned?
Right, and I think a lot of it is that, yes, I use eBay kind of as to sell used products, and I send my best stuff to Amazon. But, I mean, touch wood, my return rate on Amazon is very low, and I don't get many returns. When I do get them, I don't have to deal with them. Amazon deals with them for me.
I know, and I mean, time is valuable, and it's like, think about what we sell on eBay. We sell used items, so it's like, do we really want to, I mean, do I really want to continue to sell used items? I mean, at the end of this year, they're going to start having some kind of crazy return policy. It's going to be very difficult. I've evaluated it and looked at it, and I'll probably hang in there until like the end of the year if I can on eBay. You know, if I can, I'll still sell my stuff and make money. I won't continuously buy for eBay.
Sorry, I think I just broke the sound there. Sorry about that. There we go. Good. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. I broke my sound and
that's okay.
Crazy things.
But yeah, I mean, I can't just solely rely on eBay to pump out this machine of money. Like it was like an ATM before, like you were saying, you know, and I just kept it running really fast, and so I could always pull out lots and lots of money. So that wasn't going on anymore. So I had to like figure out, because I don't have a full-time job. I'm a vet tech, and I'm a retired vet tech. I don't think that I can go back to the field. It's really hard. I worked emergency for like 8 years, and I've seen my share of enough with animals, you know, and so I like want to do this. I want to sell online, so I was like, well, I'll just need to figure out where to go. And I remember everyone was doing Amazon, so I figured, okay, I'm going to go to Amazon. And starting out has actually been a little difficult for me. I don't know why. eBay was way simpler. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to get a picture and just in the beginning, I was just like so excited about it. Now getting into Amazon, I had my groove. I had my business. Business was running fine. You know, I was doing it. I like thrifting. I like selling clothes on eBay. I like taking pictures. I used to want to be a photographer. So all that, in a sense, I like, you know, and I was kind of like attached to having my business. And so I found it difficult to push into FBA because I was like, I had to do it after work, after doing eBay all day. Yeah. So it was like I had to do eBay, and then I had to do Amazon also, and then I had to give up thrifting and start yard sailing again, which is a lot of work. You know, yard sales, they take a lot of work.
And it's early. It's so early in the morning when you're up at 5 a.m. and it's still dark, and you're like, what am I doing? Where am I going?
Right. And, like, no one is around, and you feel weird, and you're not sure, and you're never sure in the morning that early. And it's hard work. You have to drive everywhere, and you got your map, and it's just a lot of work, you know. So I had to, like, start over. That's what it felt like. Is I had to, like, completely start over, and it was like, ugh, you know. I mean, it's not that I'm too old or anything like that. I'm just, like, I wanted my business to be, it was already easy. I had it running so smooth. I could do it in my sleep, and then I had to learn a whole other platform. So, but I mean, it took just it just took one shipment. You know, that's all it took. Like, it was difficult in the beginning to get in there and do it, like find the items, because you have to relearn what to buy. Like, I knew exactly what kind of shoes and clothes. I could go to the thrift store. I could go to 5 thrift stores in a day and buy $1,200 worth of inventory and make my XYZ amount of money every week. You know, it was like clockwork. And then I had to completely stop doing all that and start, like, I had to turn over here and be like, okay, go to the yard sales and buy electronics. And I would, like, look at the shoes and look at the purses and be like, oh, I'd be like, oh, I just want to buy those. But then I would remind myself, you know, I don't really trust eBay right now necessarily. You know, I really want to do Amazon. So I kind of just shifted my whole focus to FBA and stopped buying for eBay for a while. I am kind of like doing a little bit of sweaters here and there and men's jackets. Like, I'll find good overcoats at estate sales that I cannot pass up because I can get like $90 for them on eBay. You just have to, like, wait out the sale. You know, you get the right buyer. Yeah. It's kind of the perfume you buy.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I look for the big, like, if I see something that I know is a good profit on eBay and I'm at an estate sale, I'll still grab it, I'll still buy it, but my focus is what's got a barcode, what's FBA-able.
And I'm understanding that. Like, I went to an estate sale and I just turned to the office area and I immediately found, like, paper new in the package, you know, like office Avery stuff or like labels, and like this guy had a huge office area where there were all kinds of stuff everywhere, just in barcodes everywhere, just lying around. I was thinking about all the times I'd watched your videos, and like that's how I remember what to look for. Is like, I know you focus on paper and things like that. So like, you know, if people are like starting out, because to switch from like knowing how to sell on eBay to doing Amazon is actually a little challenging because you have to like figure out what to buy and what to look for. And what I didn't know in the beginning was what could I sell used and what could I sell new. Like, for some reason I was confused about it, and like I didn't realize that I could sell a stuffed animal and just wrap it and, you know, make sure it's nice and clean, wrap it in a plastic bag. Even if it doesn't have a barcode, you can still sell it. You just have to buy barcodes. I mean, there's so many things that you have to like learn so that you can be out scouting and have like the best knowledge of what you can sell and buy. Like, what used office equipment, I mean, basically you can sell any used office equipment, right?
Yeah, you can. I mean, it has to be in working order, and it has to be complete. And I think that's the challenge sometimes, is how complete does it have to be? Does it have to have the instructions? Like, where's the gray line in like, if you buy a printer, does it have to have the ink? And that's kind of a grey area for Amazon. And I try to sort of veer on the side of always sending in new or nearly new things in printers and electronics. But absolutely, you can sell used items, and often, especially if you put a photograph in of the items and show people what it actually looks like, then there's no problem at all. It's great.
Do you mean in the drop-down area when you list your personal item, like where your name is and stuff, where you can add a photo? Do you use that a lot?
I use it on high value things. I've used it on books that are high value, and I've used it on things that
to show your copy.
So there's kind of a weird thing with electronics and Amazon with the like new, and I ran into this a while back, and I started getting policy violations because I'd used sealed. I'd listed, let me see, I think it was some sort of electronics. It was a camera or a printer or something like that, and I'd said it's sealed and never been used. And I got a policy violation from Amazon. They said you can't sell things as used and then say they've never been used. But I was like, well, the packaging's scuffed, so I can't sell it as new either. So I found actually including a photograph and saying the packaging's damaged, and that's all I said. I didn't say it's sealed, I didn't say it's not been used, but saying the packaging's damaged and then just showing a picture so people could see that, yes, it's sealed, but there's a scuff on the packaging. Then that's kind of a good use of photographs, I found. And it's within policy, and you won't get slapped for that. So I've done that, and I've done it with books and collectibles especially. I take pictures of collectibles, or of really nice books, I'll take pictures and put those in.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I mean, Amazon's actually like a very different ball game from eBay. And I appreciate that. I mean, I really do. I appreciate that, like, each listing is one listing, and then everybody actually has to be on that one listing, where eBay is like 1,200 random Ralph Lauren shirt listings, you know, and then, like, on top of that, I mean, I can see why their search engine has its issues that it may have, or why there may be random blackouts going on for different sellers and different stores. I mean, the platform doesn't seem very easy to understand in itself. You know, how does one get seen in a million listings? You know, how does it work? You know, I don't even really know. I mean, I'm still getting sales, so I'm really glad about that, but I've had to really work hard to keep squeezing $1 out of eBay. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, are you still listing on eBay?
I am, yeah. I find it very unpredictable, though, and I think that's what's difficult. You can look at sold listings, and you can see what things sold for, but then I find it very hard sometimes matching those sold listings. I'll list it at that price and be waiting months and months, and I find I have to sell cheaper on eBay. On Amazon, I can get much, much better prices for things, and that, to me, is like probably, apart from the convenience and the ease of it, I think the prices is probably the biggest draw for me on Amazon.
And are you doing a lot of, I mean, let's say, okay, so in my situation, you know, right now I don't actually have as much money as I used to have to spend on inventory because my sales are so low that I'm using the inventory that I currently have to stay afloat in eBay. And kind of just switching it around, and that's completely working for me. And I'm buying like tidbits here and there when I'm out yard sailing, like I said, the overcoats and stuff. But like, I'm still just doing yard sales, and like I'm thrifting here and there for like items under $5. You know what I mean? Like try and do like $3 items, or get like yard sale items. What about retail arbitrage? Like, do you think it's still a good idea for someone at my level, like, you know, at 350 items there, I'm doing kind of randomly everything. Should I be going to like Walmart and doing retail arbitrage at this point? I mean, when I don't have that much money to spend?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different strategies for retail arbitrage. There's not one way of doing it, and I think the way I do it is not very traditional. I mean, I think if you're going to go into the sort of traditional way of doing it, I would say join a group like Scanner Monkey, and the people there are they're very focused on, they go to Walgreens and Toys R Us, and they're very much focused on finding a good deal using coupons, and just buying retail. And the difference there is it's very small margins. A lot of the time they're just selling things, so they'll find something for, I don't know, $10 and sell it for $15 or $20, and they'll make $5 profit on $10. I don't do that. If I find...
I'm not so interested in that.
No, I'll look for clearance. I mean, always look for clearance. Like in Walmart, some Walmarts suck, and I have one Walmart near me that has great clearance. Like recently I found a whole bunch of Nabi tablets. They're tablet covers for children. So they're really cool. They're like little iPad covers for children.
Yeah.
They were selling those for $5, and I just sold a ton of them for like $30 each. So I made like $15 to $20 back on each one.
Right.
So things like that you can't go wrong on.
Right.
But
And that's not a big buy-in when you're doing, let's say, $40 on one stop at Walmart for how
That's it. That's it. But I find, I mean, what I tend to do, I tend to make bundles, and I make very low-cost bundles. So I look for dollar items. Target has dollar items. Michael's, dollar stores. You can go and find, like someone in the group yesterday was talking about Joann's, and she said she was going to go to Joann's and make craft bundles. Genius. Put together fabric, thread. If that's your niche, then that's a really cool thing to do. So that's where I'm at.
I did some Halloween bundles, and I have sold a couple of them. The ones that were ranked already sold. The ones that weren't ranked haven't sold. And I haven't been able to figure out like how to get them to rank. I mean, I don't have a lot of money to spend right now. That's the thing. Like I said.
But you don't want to spend money on marketing.
Yeah, I don't really want to do that if I could just go to like the Goodwill and buy a bunch of books that week and send in 50 books. You know what I mean? And like at least have some foundation with books, like that's kind of what I've been doing. I have been avoiding retail arbitrage and going and doing book arbitrage because they're $1.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I think, I spent a lot of this year thrifting, or the first few months of this year I was in the Salvation Army, and I was thrifting a lot. And it worked fine. I did books. I built up with books. And I still do. I go out yard selling every Saturday. I go and I always hit the books. I ask about books because those margins, you can't beat that. Where I like the retail arbitrage is just that it's so repeatable. So I've got one item that I found at the dollar store, and I've been selling it for $18, and it's been and it's big. It's a big item. But I've sold it over and over and over again.
Did you list it on your own, or was it already listed and you?
I listed it.
You listed it, and how'd you get it to rank? You had somebody buy it or something?
No, I didn't. But that is one way. A lot of people say so. One trick that I know I've seen people recommending is that you give away coupons, you give free samples, and you ask people to review it. And that's within Amazon guidelines. As long as you don't say, give me a 5-star review, give me a positive review. If you say, hey, here's a free sample, please give me a free whatever review you feel like giving me. And as soon as you get reviews, it's going to start ranking. So that's one trick. I use Pinterest. I've used Instagram. In fact, I always use Pinterest and Instagram. I use those a lot. And I started doing a little bit of Facebook marketing on bundles. And that actually has worked out all right for me. You can get, I think there's a survey, and you can get $50 Facebook credit, which is fun to play with and just start using that. So Google $50 Facebook credit, because it's worth playing with that and trying it.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea, because I mean, like, I saw someone post the other day that they were making a lot of money doing some retail arbitrage, and I thought, man, maybe I should put my focus back on that instead of like, doing yard sales every weekend, because sometimes they don't produce as much as, I mean, every once in a while they're not as great as you'd think they would be. And so I haven't had much luck. This last weekend wasn't very good for me, and I'm thinking I need to go like to like a store and do some retail arbitrage for a while and just check it out and just.
I think it's good to diversify.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good to just do a bit of everything. And I mean, I try and do everything. I do yard sales, estate sales, books, and I try and keep hitting the retail as well and just replenishing there. But one thing I would say is not everything will sell. Sometimes you'll just have a dud and it won't work that well. So the way I try and do it is at the start of a season I make a lot of different bundles. And I just send in 2 or 3 of each and see if they sell. If they sell straight away, then I'll start replenishing and growing it. So I kind of weed out the real dud bundles and just like really hammer the ones that I know are doing well. Which I found with back to school as well. I had it was interesting. I had a bunch of notebook sets, and I found that one in particular had like a unicorn on it, and everyone loved the unicorn one, and there were a bunch of similar ones, but it was all about the unicorn, so I ended up going everywhere I could to find that particular notebook and send that one in.
I think I remember you talking about something about Lisa Frank unicorns or something, that they were really popular.
You can't go wrong with Lisa Frank unicorns. Lisa Frank herself, it's kind of hit and miss, but the unicorns, people love unicorns.
Yeah, it's interesting, and you were also saying, I think it was you that said that people also are into really big, like in the zombie culture, that it's really popular.
Yeah,
that's a good theme. Like if you're going to create a bundle, to create a zombie bundle, because zombies are trending, and they're just something that people seem to really want. You know, like Frankenstein, it seems to be a really popular thing for Halloween. You know, I'm just learning these things from watching different videos. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there to find out what to sell. It's just finding a rhythm and finding a niche. Do you have, like, I mean, I know bundles are your thing mostly, but do you like, particularly, like, will you go back into grocery, or will you focus on grocery for Thanksgiving also? Because certain types of things...
Yeah, I probably will. Yeah. Last year I did a lot of shopping at a grocery outlet and a few other stores like that, Big Lots, and I just find they're a bit oversaturated now. It's a lot of and now you can't really do multi-packs. It's kind of flaky on whether or not you're allowed to do multi-packs. So I'm doing a little bit of groceries, but I would probably bundle it. I feel like that's where I can make higher margins by doing a bundle. Whereas if I just send in regular stuff, I just find there's too much competition, and it gets very difficult to compete with people on groceries.
Yeah, and I saw that video you did about the grocery bundles that you did. Were those some of the bundles that you did last year?
Oh, was this the Trader Joe's video?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did some Trader Joe's bundles last year, and they were awesome. I talked about the pumpkin butter and bread one, and I sold a load of those. Like, I could just keep sending them in. And I would say, if you're happy doing merchant fulfilled, I think groceries is a great place to be, because you just go and look for every new product that comes out, and you just got to be the first to market. And if you're merchant fulfilled, you can be the first to market. You can send that. You can just be ready to sell it, and on the day it comes out. If people love pumpkin Pop-Tarts and there aren't many sellers, you can really hammer those pumpkin Pop-Tarts. And I think with Trader Joe's, that's what I really saw. So, like, when I made the video, I was using Flow to look at the products, and the pumpkin oatmeal had just come out like 2 days before, and it was selling for $18, $19, and it had a rank. The rank was like 40,000. So people are actually buying $3 oatmeal for $18 to $19. But the problem is, you just know it's not going to last. It's not a constant. So I mean, if I had the time to merchant fulfill, and that was where my focus was, I think there's really good money to be made by just even running to the store, even just listing everything in Trader Joe's. And if you've got 3 of those stores around you, you can just list it all and be ready to run to the store when people buy it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really done anything merchant fulfilled yet on Amazon, only because I haven't really thought about it. Not that I heard that it's a good idea, because a lot of people who are selling groceries are recommending that you merchant fulfill groceries, because people will buy them merchant fulfilled, and they will pay a lot of money as well, because people don't, a lot of Trader Joe's, you know, I moved from California to Colorado, and we left Trader Joe's behind, and now they have it here in Colorado.
How could you?
I know. It was terrible. I, had to divorce products that I'd known since the beginning. You know, I had to, let go of things that but they came back, and they're here now, but, I haven't even, they're pretty far from where I'm at, so I haven't even really been there, because Denver is a bit, it's a hard place to drive around. Like, San Diego is a hard place to drive around, too. I think about you when you're driving around San Diego.
I like San Diego. I love it. I can drive by the beach. I can drive by, I love it. It's a fun place to drive around.
Yeah, it's an incredible city. I mean, it's really big, though. Like, if you think that it's all the way from Poway to, Encinitas to, I don't even know, Imperial Beach,
That's true.
San Diego. Have you seen some of those videos of the FBA warehouses? Have you seen those videos of the FBA warehouses, like what they look like inside, like some of the...
You know, I was supposed to do
You're
the
crazy.
tour, and then I forgot. I was signed up to do the tour in San Bernardino,
really?
and then I forgot. I didn't. I ended up. I ended up not going. But I think you can still sign up for the FBA warehouse tours.
Wow,
And I
really?
really want to go and do that. That would be so cool.
And can you go like, but you have to kind of obviously live in a city where there's a warehouse, right?
Yeah, I think they've got about 7 or 8 of the warehouses open, and you can book. But I think you've got to book like a year in advance now. So I really missed the boat on it. But you can book to go and look around them, and I've heard it's really cool. So.
And how many items do you have in FBA?
How many? I have about, oh gosh, about 4,000, I think, different. But that's SKUs, so there's like probably multiples of those, so quite a lot. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine you started Amazon FBA the same time I started eBay. If you're a little, maybe you and I started eBay at the same time, and then you started FBA like a little bit after that. And
yeah, I didn't do eBay for that long. I only did eBay about maybe 6 months, sort of 5 or 6 months.
And was it 2011?
Yeah, let's see. So we're in 14, 13, 12. No, I think it was the end of 2012.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was when I got started. I mean, I did eBay a really long time ago in the UK. Like 10 years ago, I started my account, and then I transferred it over here. But as a job, as a full-time thing, I've been doing it like almost 3 years. It's coming up to 3 years.
And when you started, like, okay, so in the beginning, like, pretty right away, like, I noticed a rhythm in eBay pretty right away. Like, I noticed that if I listed a certain amount of items a week, this many would sell. Like, I was, like, at 25 items a week, and I was selling, you know, a certain amount, and I was making a certain amount. And then when I doubled that, I doubled my sales, and I doubled my income. So, let's say, okay, so I've been able to send about 75 items a week because it's a lot easier to get things listed on Amazon than it is eBay. So I've already, in less than a month and a half, I've already got 400 almost items there. So I'm probably selling, like, my average is about 2 items a day, which is really slow, you know, compared to eBay, because eBay I'll sell about 6 right now. But so when do you see like a tip over in your sales on Amazon FBA? Like, was it like 600 items where you saw?
You know, it really depends. It depends. See me. Yeah, I think it depends what you're selling. So I found that when I when I have a lot of very popular items going in, those I see a lot of sales, and it really depends on the boxes I'm shipping in. If I've just shipped in a load of bundles and it's seasonal, then I'll see a lot of sales. But if it's if I've just got a lot of books sitting there, which I do, I have like a couple of thousand of my SKUs are probably just books with slower ranks. Those aren't going to sell as fast.
Right.
But I mean, I've ranged between having sort of, I guess, 30 sales a day, or having like maybe even just 10 sales a day is probably a bad day. And it goes up to sort of 50 or 60 sales a day on a better day.
Doing seasonal items.
Yeah, and it very much depends on day to day as well. Like, I'll find Mondays and Tuesdays tend to be very fast moving. It used to be weekends. I used to get a lot of sales on Saturday and Sunday. Now, not so much. Now I'm seeing sales more early in the week tend to be the fastest selling days.
And then in Q4, do you really see, like, through till January, from now till January practically, do you really see that, like, anything will sell? I mean, I have a mixture of groceries, toys, books, and I'm selling like 1 to 2 items a day, and, you know, like, I'll randomly sell a grocery item, and so I'm selling stuff, but, like, I guess I just need more items there to sell more items per day. Is that, like, what you think? Like,
yeah,
I sold items right when I
think so, but I think also I think it's very rank oriented as well, though. It really depends on how well ranked the items are that you're sending in. And I think this is the problem with Amazon. So eBay, like, you kind of know what will sell on eBay. You're like, okay, I've got this designer dress. I know I can sell it, and I can set my price, and I know it's going to sell fairly quickly depending on the price I set on it.
Right.
And I think Amazon is just this kind of juggling game of rank and price and camel, and sometimes it's worth sending in a book that has a rank of 2 to 3 million, and you can list it for $50, and you know at some point in the next year it's going to sell, but you just don't know exactly how quickly. But then you have people like, and I don't know if you've ever seen like Dwayne Malick's Fast Turn Radio, and he very much focuses on sending in items that don't have big margins but will sell very, very quickly. So he looks for like best-selling items and sells like very fast turn items that don't make a big margin but are just consistent sellers. So it kind of depends on your game plan, whether you want the really big margins and the slightly slower turnover, which I probably, honestly, I probably focus on quite a bit. I tend to not reverse engineer. I don't go around looking for best sellers. I look for just what can I find that's cheap that I'll make a profit in. And then I just send a lot of it in and just hope and market it until it starts selling fast. And it works for me on the whole. I have a lot of items sitting there that are big margin items that don't sell very quickly. But then I try and make it up with retail arbitrage that's very seasonal. And I do tend to focus on seasonal products a lot, which sell faster.
Right, and capitalizing on, like, I just keep thinking about the Trader Joe's bundles that you showed, the examples, because those were really helpful to see, like, oh yeah, coffee, cookies, and mugs. You know, that's like a great
and those will sell quickly.
Yeah, that you can do with food because people. Now, do you think that the keywords are the things that help people to find that bundle, or what do you think? How did you now how did you market that particular bundle? Did you put that on Facebook marketing, or did you have that?
No, I haven't actually done that. At the moment, I'm not doing Trader Joe's bundles. I did really well with them last year, and honestly, if I had the time and that was my focus, I would probably be doing those because there's definitely money to be made. And I think the coffee and cups one, like, I kind of wish I was doing it. I'm like, why aren't I doing this? I should just do it and send it in, because I think you could easily double your money on it, and it's a good bundle. And I think it will sell very, very quickly, especially in the run-up to Thanksgiving. In fact, right across the next few months, I think those sort of bundles are going to sell very, very well. So yeah, I mean, that's a great way to get the fast-turning products going. But you see, I feel you don't have to just settle for low margins and fast turn. I think if you do smart bundles, you can get the fast turn going, but double your money at least. Like all my bundles, I try and make sure I at least double my money. And some of the dollar store stuff, I mean, I can put together a bundle from the dollar store for $3 and sell it for more than 20 and make $15 back on each one.
And you find, I don't have the experience of sales, like, at that high price. Like, so I'm taking, like, I put together 2 things from the dollar store, and I think I did, like, $12.95, because I was like, no way are people going to pay more than that for this. But, like, I could see taking 3 items and maybe, like, 3 decorative items. Like, they had, like, a lot of cool stuff, like crows and tombstones and different things that you could put together at the dollar store for $3. You're saying that people will pay $24.95 for something like that?
It really depends what it is. And I think that's kind of where you just need to develop an eye. And I think if you've done eBay, you kind of know what people will pay for. I mean, some of the stuff from the dollar store is just horrible. I tried to sell some 4th of July sticks, and I thought they were cool, and then I looked at them and they have "Made in China" written on the back, and I was just like, these are really tacky. People are going to know these are dollar store, then they don't look good. But then I think if you're smart, like those mugs I found that go with the coffee, they don't look like dollar store mugs. They look like nice mugs, and if you put them with sort of nice upmarket coffee, it actually looks like kind of an upmarket bundle. So I think some of it's just being smart about how you put it together. And also putting a cool name on it and just saying, like a lot of the dollar store stuff is very generic. So I don't know, you could pick up a tombstone and a crow, and then you could put like haunted graveyard bundle, and suddenly people who are wanting a haunted graveyard will look at it. And I think there's no harm in riding off of things that are trending or things that are popular at the moment. And using, like, I don't know, there's Google Trending. You can like have Google Trending running and look through all what people are interested in at the moment. And anything people, like I remember, I think Chris Green showed off Pharrell Williams' hat. He'd found a hat that looked like Pharrell Williams' hat. And last year, everyone was looking for that hat. And I think if you can sort of come up with those things that buy into. And someone did like a 50 Shades of Grey kit when that was really popular, with the Earl Grey tea and a grey tie. And
oh, wow.
I think if you can like think creatively, you can come up with really great stuff that will tap into keywords.
Did you do any costumes? Oh, no, because is costumes and clothing Halloween?
Yeah, costumes. Well, some of it overlaps into toys, but technically costumes is in clothing. And I think it's a risk to ride. Like, you can ride on some of them. Some of them are listed in toys, or some of them are listed in other areas. But I think it's a bit of a risk. And actually, I was burnt by this because I bought a lot of masks. And I was like, great, I can sell masks.
Right.
Then I realized even masks came down into clothes. So I think I'm going to be offloading those on eBay because they came under clothes. And I just don't want to take the risk with my account. I mean, I could probably list them and say novelty hats or whatever, but just not worth it.
I can't imagine wanting to. And do you sell, like, are you selling anywhere else besides eBay and Amazon? Do you ever do, well, maybe Yerdle? You're doing Yerdle still, right?
Yeah, I've been Yerdling a little bit, and I do like Yerdle, but I have a bit of an issue with Yerdle right now because they've changed the shipping on everything, and now everything costs $4.99 to ship. Like, they don't have anything under $4.99. And it's crazy. You see people shipping, like, things, most things on Yerdle aren't even worth $5, let alone paying. So I think they need to sort out their shipping a little bit. And I'm not doing a lot of Yerdling at the moment just because I think that shipping is crazy and they need to sort that out.
That's
because it's cheaper to first class it.
Right. I mean, come on. Yeah. I mean, I can first class a blouse for like $2.29. And send it to pretty far, sometimes over, in zone 5 or whatever from where I am. So that's pretty ridiculous, considering people probably Yerdle small jewelry and little tiny things, that aren't even.
Absolutely. I am looking. I'm looking at probably. I would like to have my own store. I'd really like to move in that direction of setting up my own site or store. And I'm really excited. There's some apps you can put onto Facebook and have a Facebook store, which I think is really cool. I've heard about
this.
Yeah.
I've really heard about that. I've wondered myself what that's about. You're thinking about doing that?
Maybe. And there's also, you can get, there's another app that's come out, I've forgotten what it's called, and it's got buy it now buttons for Facebook and Twitter. And that's just so cool that you can start tweeting and Facebooking things and selling on those platforms. Wow. I'm thinking of doing a hangout just on that because my boyfriend's a web guy and he does a lot of sites like that. So I'm thinking of maybe doing like a hangout with him and getting him to talk about like how to do that.
So cool, because a lot of us are really not technical like that and don't know anything. So if we have someone that does know, we can
I think that might be fun. But I was talking to a lady, I think Stacy, who does the ugly sweaters, and like it's amazing. She set up a web store just selling ugly sweaters. I think it's called the uglysweaterstore.com or something like that. And she does a great thing just selling that's her niche. And I think if you can find and I think Dallas Moore was selling like slides and prints and pictures.
Heard about that.
If you can set up a store doing something like that, then, I mean, that's great. That's where you want to be. You're in control of it, and you're not worried about Amazon closing your account or eBay screwing you over. You're independent, and I think that's where you want to be, really. That's where we all want to be if we could.
I know, right? And I'm looking at that, and I'm really seriously looking at some wholesale deals and getting like into Amazon with some wholesale products. You know, like I said, I used to be a vet tech, so I know a lot about the veterinary world.
Oh, that's
And I've actually been researching
cool.
some products that, like, you know, aren't even available online FBA, and they actually, you know, have ranks, and people, there's no one selling them, you know, like different, I could create different pet bundles, which is really exciting.
That's
I
a
think
really
she
cool
froze.
idea. Yeah. And
There you are. Are you coming back?
so I used to be a doula. Oh, I think we all froze up there. I hope we're here. But I know like a lot of the midwives I knew.
Yeah, I did.
Are we talking? I don't know if I can see you. There you are. So I knew a lot
I
of
can hear you.
Okay, I knew a lot of midwives who had their own like home birth kits and things like that are so niche. But when you need it, you need it. And I think that there's anything. I mean, we all know about something, whether it's like World of Warcraft, whether it's like vet products. Like we all have our special interests. And I think or the lady who was putting together craft bundles from Joann's. I mean, that to me is brilliant. If you can do scrapbooking bundles, like Christmas scrapbooking or Christmas sewing bundles, you've got an audience right there. People will buy that if it looks good. It's a perfect gift. It's cool.
That's so exciting. I mean, I'm very excited about Q4. I'm really excited about like sending in anything and everything I got approved to sell in toys and games, which is so exciting because I'm new, so my metrics are really good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be able to sell, which is good because a lot of stuff at the yard sales and thrift stores is games and toys. Like that's really a lot of bases too for my account already, is like books, games and toys, and a few groceries, you know, because the margin on groceries is really small unless, like you said, you're bundling stuff. It's really, I guess, you know, the yard sales, but you know, it's going to start snowing here soon.
Oh, that's so...
I know. I think about you in San Diego, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, he's going to get to yard sale year round. Do you go out in the winter?
Yeah, I go out all the time. Every Saturday I'm out yard sailing.
And it doesn't end. It's year round, right?
I think so. Yeah. I wasn't doing it as much last Christmas, but I think it's year round. And people do a lot of rummage sales, and those are like my favorite. The church sales and school sales. I love those. Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah, because here, literally in 2-3 weeks, it's going to start snowing.
Oh, I don't like snow. I'm glad I got away from
snow. I don't like snow either. I can't understand why I'm here, really, but I am. And anyways, I'm going to have to improvise and find the rummage sales, find the book sales, go do more retail arbitrage, because, you know, when there's no more yard sales, that's what we have to do, is just jump into other, like, you know, immediately go into different directions, and like, I'll just make sure I know which thrift stores have which specials on which days, and which places have, you know, where are the rummage sales, where people still have estate sales during that time, which is really important because they're all indoors, so they'll still hold estate sales, which is really good because that's where you can find a lot of really good stuff for Amazon FBA and eBay also. And I think, you know, continuing both platforms is still a good idea. Like you said, when you find stuff that you just can't, that you know that you can sell for a good profit on eBay, you're going to buy that item and take the time and sell it on eBay.
That's true. I'll do that. If I find something that's high value, like last week I found some reel-to-reel tapes at an estate sale. In fact, on Friday I found them, and they were $1 each for new reel-to-reel tapes. Wow. And I've already sold 2 for $60, 1 for $30, and I've got 2 listed for $300, and I had an offer of $190 on them.
Wow.
So I'm like, and I bought them for $1 each. So I'm just like, okay, you can't let something like that pass. No. You've got to sell things like those. So.
Yeah, and I mean, even with this new return policy that they're going to be doing, I think the collectibles arena will stay pretty alive on eBay.
That's
mainly
true, yeah.
Because that's what it started with. I mean, if you're going to do used items, it's good to try to get into like items that have value for people. not just maybe clothes and shoes randomly, but like items like the reel-to-reel or antiques or, you know, the all covered in Starbucks mugs, you know, that
that's
we
true
all the time.
Well, we kind of put people in touch with. I mean, I feel like we do a great service sometimes because
Right.
we find like your book that you've found. I mean, that's
Right.
like a crazy book that most people. No one's going to walk into a library sale and go, "Wow, that's just the book I need."
I know, right?
You're putting the person who needs that very book in touch with, like, you're putting the two together, and I think that's a great service doing that.
It is, and regardless of what platform we use to do that, I mean, I'm really liking FBA and like doing how, I mean, I literally have not answered a single email.
Yeah.
There's no one tries to contact me. I mean, I haven't done a single thing. I just sit there and like, all you do is just ship your boxes in and then wait. So it's a lot of waiting on FBA is what it feels like to me, because eBay, like, I'm kind of in charge of the whole thing and I'm doing the whole thing, so like from start to finish. But Amazon's a lot of waiting. Like I wait till my items get received, and then I have to wait till they sell, you know, and so it's a lot of waiting, but it's very rewarding to have Amazon there. Like I like the feeling of building into Amazon because I feel them solid as a strong company that's going to last for a very long time. Like the market's wide open. It's not like very shrunk down or very competitive in a sense. Now, the low-hanging fruit's not there anymore necessarily, but it's still really wide open in some areas, and there's a lot of money to be made on Amazon. So, I mean, I definitely recommend if people aren't in there yet and they're just doing eBay, like there are people in the group, I think your group, that are just doing eBay, and I really encourage people to get into Amazon FBA and do, or just even merchant fulfill stuff on Amazon to start, you know?
Absolutely,
get out there and check out different things like books and different items that can be sold. There's a lot.
I think another thing that we were talking about what you do in the winter and how you can source when there's no yard sales. Another thing, and this kind of helps us if eBay's struggling, if people are struggling to sell things on eBay, it can actually be a good source for finding. Like I know a lot of people find products on eBay and sell them on Amazon. They do the online arbitrage. So that's kind of another. I don't know. Is that something you've thought about doing? Like I know Chris Green just brought out this crazy book that's $200 that's online arbitrage, but it's supposed to tell you everything there is to know. Like, is that something you've thought about, a direction you've thought about going in?
Yes, I mean, I'd like to set up my FBA business where I could actually order stuff online. It comes to my house. I repackage it 2 or 3 times, like 2-3 times a week. Boxes come, I repackage them, I send them out, and then the other days maybe I go get books, you know. But like I really want to have the bulk of my business be some kind of wholesale product or wholesale bundle that isn't seasonal, that would stay ongoing for a long time. And I have my eye on a couple different things, like, you know, I'm thinking in the pet arena and I'm thinking in something else, and I want to, like, you know, maybe even though the margin would only be $10 or $12 on the item, if I could sell 10 a day or 5 a day of each, or get 3 to 5 products running at a time.
That's a great income.
That's what I'd like to do for my FBA business, and then like thrift here and there and get, because I mean I'm not necessarily a big book scanner, you know. I don't really like scanning books necessarily, but I'm doing it because they're cheaper than other items, and I'm very selective about my finances when it comes down to, like, well, is this going to sell before this, and I might as well just spend this money here because it's a waste to go buy a $5 item at Walmart and have it be erased to the bottom in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Books are like more stable, and I feel like I can get more for my money sometimes. So I tend to buy a lot of books because if I strike out at the yard sales, I go get books. That's kind of my idea.
I think that's a good thing. I mean, I do think groceries are a gamble. There is money to be made there, but I think FBA in groceries particularly is a gamble because I think the price can just fluctuate so much and so quickly. It's money, but it's risky. Whereas I think books, if a book's a good seller, it's hard to find Amazon aren't going to suddenly jump in on it and undercut you. You've
Right.
got a good deal there.
And did you get some wholesale? I know you were thinking about doing that. Did you?
I haven't done. I did a little bit of wholesale in the summer, but I haven't really hammered it yet. But I've kind of been thinking along the same lines that I think the way to go is to wholesale, order a couple of different items wholesale and put together a bundle that's very hard to replicate, or to private label. I think private labeling is another, like, if you can find a product and put your brand on it, I think that's like the holy grail right there. And then if you can get it selling on your own website, you've won. Like, you've won the internet.
know,
You can do that.
There's a game. Yeah, that's the ultimate prize right there, is if you could do that. I mean, honestly, like, I've looked into private labeling and thought, wow, if you could just get one of these pet products.
Yeah.
You know, one of the plastic ones that doesn't really require a lot of assembly, or a kitchen item, you know, that's some kind of generic spatula.
Yeah, that's it.
Really well. You just private label something like that, and then you have, you know, your $1 million.
It's a definite curve, I think. I think there's a definite, like, way to climb the ladder of selling online.
Yeah, that's definitely the ladder right there. And I mean, I think wholesale bundles, hard to find wholesale bundles, is definitely the way to start. And I think that that's a good idea to keep continuing to look into for anyone that's even starting out, you know, because I'm only a month and a half, and I'm already thinking wholesale, because why not, you know?
And you're rocking it. I mean, I can't believe you've only been doing it a month or so. I mean, it's amazing, and you're really hammering those books and just branching into everything. And I think that's the way to do it. You've just got to go in, diversify, and try everything and see how well it sells. And then when you find your winner, just really hammer that gold mine and keep adding other things. And the more diversification you have, the safer you are in a way, and the more income you're going to have coming in.
That's actually something that happened to me in my business. I got really focused on clothes, shoes, and accessories. And because it was working so well for a while, I kind of buried myself into like this point, you know, where that's all I was selling. And though I was branding myself and it was really good on some level, at the same time, I found myself only being able to buy from the thrift store. And the thrift store was like jacking up its prices so high that I was going in there, and literally from one weekend to the next, they were like doubling the prices and then doubling them again. And I was like, $15.95 for shoes was like started to be the norm, not even good shoes. And I was like,
oh
wow,
my gosh.
I can't even. So that's where it started. It started at the thrift store itself, because I was only doing clothes and shoes on eBay from the thrift store, you know. So it was like I was really a small market. And though I had branded myself, I'd also squeezed myself into a corner. And I wasn't doing any more.
Yeah.
So when I had to switch to Amazon, I had to like shake myself out of this thing that I was in. Like, I was so focused on buying clothes and shoes that like I was like at Walmart with my phone going, oh my gosh, trying to do retail arbitrage, you know, because it was so challenging to like get back into the mode of being diversified. Like, I had completely squeezed myself into a brand. And I don't know if that's the best way to go when you're an online seller. I think it's
I think one of the problems. Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. You want to hammer. If you find something that works, keep doing it.
Right.
But I've also found that it just changes. The online marketplace changes so rapidly.
Yeah.
And I was doing great with thrifting for a while, and then I found the same thing. The thrift stores got more expensive, and more people were shopping, and I just couldn't buy any stuff.
There. I mean, you go there, and it's like a dump. It's like, well, you know, I didn't mean it like that, but it's like ransacked is what I mean. Like, the shelves these days look like they're just like ransacked, you know, and it is. They put out a lot of trash. They are passing stuff off as sellable that is not sellable these days. I can't believe what they're doing at the thrift store. It's almost, I grew up thrifting. You know, we used the thrift store to survive because we didn't have a lot of money. So I always appreciated the thrift store until more recently, when they've gotten a little crazy in my mind. I mean, they try to sell stained and ripped, and shoes that are torn to pieces for like $24.99. Just like, I can't even look at it. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm done, you know? But really, that was one reason why I started to change so much. Back to the yard sales, back to the beginning, because I was like, they can't just monopolize everything like this. Forget it. Fine, I'm going to go somewhere else and find my products. You know what I mean? I'm like, not going to just like play their game where just because we're making money online doesn't mean they can capitalize so much on, they get all that stuff for free, you know what I mean? And like to overcharge us for it is ridiculous, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I don't know, I find it's happened in everywhere else as well. I mean, like, I used to do big lots like crazy, and then I found that so many other people got on the big lots train that I couldn't source there anymore, or I could, but I had to be a lot more, it wasn't low-hanging fruit anymore. And I think Trader Joe's, I mean, I guess I've kind of like not exactly helped things, but it's the same deal. Everyone starts jumping on board, and then you've got to keep moving and keep finding other places to source. But I think you're so right that if you just keep going and you keep looking, you're always going to find something. There's always going to be some gold mine around the corner, whether it's like an estate sale that suddenly they're just selling off. Like I've just had so much luck with this lady who is a QVC hoarder, and I've been to that. They did 4 estate sales based off the same lady's products, and I've just been going back and back and bought like so much stuff. And it's just a case of just doing your research, keeping your eyes open, and always just looking for new sources and being open to it. And there's always something.
Being open to it is really important too. Like, I noticed that having the right attitude about it, because I've been frustrated a little bit here and there just because it's the transition for me has been a little difficult, but I've been overcoming it by just like, I don't buy into it. I just keep pushing, and I usually end up coming through with some kind of score or finding some big things at the end of the day. Like, even if I always think about, you say, you know, go, if you can't find stuff here, if you strike out at the yard sales, go to a garage sale, go to an estate sale, go to a book sale, go to the thrift store, go anywhere.
Just keep going.
Yeah, just keep going. I mean, I really do feel like that's the whole thing about this business, is that we're pushing ourselves. We're running our own show here, and we have to be at the forefront making it happen. And so naturally we're going to be outsourcing as much as we can and doing as much as we can. So, you know,
for sure. And they're transferable skills. Once we've figured out like one place to go, and we can negotiate with someone at a yard sale. I mean, yard sales are great because you learn all these skills by talking to people, learning how to negotiate with people. And then you can go and transfer those skills. You can use those skills elsewhere at estate sales and retail stores. And online, you can go and buy from eBay or buy from wholesalers, trade shows. Like, it just, there's so much out there, really. It's pretty open-ended.
And how's, speaking of, how's your video coming along that you were talking about, your bundling video?
I know. You know, I said on Saturday, I think what I need to do is just hire out a studio, because I recorded a lot of it, but I'm not like 100% happy with it. So I think what I might do is get a studio for the day, or get an office for the day, and just go and lock myself away from the children, away from the dogs, just away from Facebook, and just sit down and get it recorded. Because what I want to do is do a full, like, A to Z, this is how you think up a bundle, how you research a bundle, how you get it, how you put the items together. I mean, I've been hinting at it in my spreecasts through the Trader Joe's thing. I've given away like a lot of my kind of secrets and my tactics, but I really want to do the whole thing all the way through, and with how you list it, and do a screencast of how you list it, and how to market it as well to Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, like all of those things. So I'm definitely, like, I'm working on it. I don't want to put it out there before I'm like super happy and I feel like it's something people will actually pay for. So hopefully I've got a website coming in the next week or two. So
that's great.
I'm just getting that finished up, and once the website's up, then the next step is definitely the bundling video will be out. And very much hopefully before Christmas, very much hopefully before then. So
that's great. I mean, yeah, I understand what you mean. Like, it's hard to make something that you want to charge for that's going to work. I mean, it has to be like semi-professional on some level, and it has to be something that's going to work for you and be able to. What do you think you're going to charge for something like that? Do you know?
No, I'm thinking it's probably going to be in about the $60 range, and I'm hoping to throw in some a little bit of coaching with that. So I'll answer questions. So that's kind of my plan for that. I mean, I love the treasure hunting group. Everyone in the treasure hunting group is so nice and so cool, and I don't want to sell anything to them that's I'm not like I feel isn't a great product and isn't going to give them a huge amount of value. So that's why I'm kind of holding off on it, and just because I want it to be awesome. I don't want to like say, hey guys, buy this tacky thing off me, because I don't want to do that. I really respect everyone in the group, and they've been so good to me. I love all you people, and it's been a lot of fun.
I can't wait for it. I'm looking forward to it because I really want to see from the A to Z. I want to be able to see like the beginning into the end, because I know most of the things already. You know, like I understand that most of the concepts, you know, all you have to do is really follow along, and you can kind of see everything that you've said and how you've put it together. Even that Trader Joe's video that you put out is really helpful information.
And a lot of people in the group a lot of people in the group have been putting together their own bundles and Halloween bundles and getting them out there, and that's awesome. I'm so glad people keep they're trying it. They're getting out there and doing it and trying it, and I think that's so important, because I think the key thing we have as resellers is creativity and like being willing to execute and do things, and not just sort of sit around going, oh, it's doing.
And kind of show each other that it's happening and help each other. I mean, there's a lot of Facebook groups now, but I only am in a few of them because I really appreciate even though a lot of them are really big, you can see that some of the same people every time participate in the same group. So it's nice to have like a community of people that you know online, you know, that you can talk to and that you can resource through. Especially when you're learning a new platform.
Yeah, we've got a great community.
Yeah, the treasure hunting is probably one of the best ones. I feel like that's one of the best groups of all of them. I think. I really do think so.
Oh, that's so nice of you. Oh, thank you for saying that. Yeah, I think there's a lot of. I mean, I wouldn't have learned without using Scam Power, and I mean, and Thrifting with the Boys. Like, I started off with all of those groups, and I mean, we all have to kind of keep stepping on each other's shoulders and learning from each other. And I love the community. I think everyone's so awesome. Every time I speak to like you or anyone in the group, I learn so much, and it's a lot of fun. I like sharing because we all learn from each other. It's great.
It's really, I mean, I'm so grateful, because without that, you know, I wouldn't have been able to learn so quickly on, even especially like YouTube. Like, I started making videos again because I really can't help myself. There's lots of information about eBay going on right now, and like all these different things that are going on, and I feel like kind of like obligated to the people that, you know, the group that I started, the eBay selling tips, sellers helping sellers on eBay and Amazon. The one that Jesse is now the admin for, that group, I feel kind of like responsible to those people that I helped a lot of people start to sell clothes and shoes on eBay. Probably hundreds of people, you know. I mean, at one point there were 2,000 people in the group, so I imagine hundreds of people got started selling on eBay, and so I wanted to make videos to kind of reach out to those people and speak to them directly about, like, here's what's going on for me in my store. You know, maybe this can help you guys understand what you can do to improve sales really quickly, like how to rewrite titles and how to shift things around and how to use your markdown manager and get sales, you know, run sales. Because really, right now, that's the thing, is fighting to stay alive. Like, what things can you do to get cert so you can be seen in eBay so you can get sales? You know, so I started making more videos again.
For sure.
Because I really wanted those people, like, I'm really I have an ability to jump on a dime. You know, I know you're pretty quick like that too. You probably have a lot of those resources as well where, like, I don't give up. You know what I mean? Like, I can change everything around. So I wanted to give people an idea of the ways that I stayed alive in this last, like, 3 weeks on eBay, which have been the worst 3 weeks of eBay practically. I mean, it's been so different from going from the selling that I was doing, the volume that I was doing without really trying, to really having to work to just get half of that out of eBay was really difficult, you know. And I mean, that's why I started making videos again, because I wanted to help people that might be in the same situation that I was in, that were seeing a really good flow that just stopped, you know.
Yeah, and I think when you're having all these ups, and you really do have ups and downs sometimes doing, like I have big ups and downs. I'm like, yay, today's a great, wow, I can't believe how well this week's going. And then the next week, you're like, where are my sales? Right. And I think sometimes it's just good knowing you're not alone. Because this can be kind of a lonely business, especially like if your partner doesn't get it, or your family doesn't get it, or you like, it's hard to explain what you do. So it's kind of nice just having that contact and having other people who kind of get what you're doing and are willing to help. That's why people you see out in the field a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I wanted to come on here, is because most of us are alone all day working, and, you know, I mean, maybe we have kids or we have family, but they're gone and we work from home, and there's a lot, I mean, I've spent a lot of time very, you know, being a lot of, like, worried or stressed out in these last few weeks, and reaching out to people in other groups to find out what was going on, you know, with eBay, or why eBay was slowing down, or what other people were experiencing. And it was good that all those groups were out there, because if I wouldn't have had all that support, what would I have had? I would have been on the phone with eBay all day long going, what's going on, what's going on? But I could actually turn to different Facebook groups and different other sellers like Danny Ackerman and people like that I had followed for years, and I could really, like, watch what they put on their blogs and watch what they said, and I could really trust those sellers because I had already known them from previously being, like, in online communities. So I really appreciate, you know, people who, like yourself, who make videos, and other people who make videos, and I hope people like the videos that I've made to help anybody out there that's experiencing slow sales in their eBay store, you know, to get some traffic and how to generate traffic to your store really quickly. I found some tricks and stuff, so, you know, and it's helped me to stay alive. So I really want to, like, give back to those people that I may have gotten started selling on eBay, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. I was looking at your videos this afternoon. It's so cool that you're putting those out still, and everyone should go and check them out. Go and look up Autumn's videos, because they're really, there's a lot of great information there.
Thanks.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming on, Autumn. It's been so good talking to you again.
I wish I lived in San Diego. You and I would go.
I know, we'd have fun
all the time.
We'd have good times.
eBay and Amazon all day. It would be fun. Isn't your daughter named Autumn too?
She is. My oldest is called Autumn, so it's a good name.
I know, good name. Okay, well, we'll see each other soon again. Thank you very much.
All right, I'll talk to you very soon. Thank you again. You've been such an inspiration.
Yeah, thank you. You're an inspiration. Have a good night. Talk to you later.
Good night, and good night, everyone. Bye.
Good night.